Pima County Sheriff's Department shutting down a Catalina Foothills neighborhood in connection to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. It is all happening near Orange Grove and First Avenue, and Placita de Graciela and Camino de Michael are now closed down. Now, Jacob Owens is near the scene covering the latest from there. And Jacob, what have you learned since we last checked in with you?
Yeah, Sean, to be clear, we're in the Shadow Hills neighborhood, as you said, by Orange Grove and First Street, and a ton of law enforcement activity. We've been seeing lines of law enforcement continue to go down. So we are at Camino de Michael and Placita de Michael. Let's show you a video from tonight, but this is related to the Nancy Guthrie case. This presence has been here for 2 hours, and we're told that law enforcement is fixated on a home out here. We're hearing 2 people have been detained, but the Sheriff's Department has not confirmed that yet. They told us they will not be releasing a press official statement tonight, but we've seen for ourselves heavy SWAT, heavily armored vehicles come out, along with more than 20 law enforcement vehicles. Neighbors for at least an hour and a half were not allowed to come in certain areas, but now we're beginning to see some let back in.
The quiet streets of the Catalina Foothills just became the center of a federal firestorm. While the world was looking at the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home, the FBI was quietly moving in on the house right next door. And what they just uncovered has sent a literal shockwave through the investigation. We've been told for weeks that the kidnapper vanished into thin air, but a retired SWAT commander with 30 years of boots on the ground experience in this exact county has just broken his silence. He isn't just theorizing anymore. He is confirming that the monster who took an 84-year-old woman in her pajamas didn't run away. He was living, breathing, and watching from a staging house less than 50 feet from her driveway. And the most terrifying part? The FBI just went back inside that vacant rental. And according to high-level law enforcement sources, they didn't leave empty-handed. They found something that belongs to him, something he never intended for the world to see. To understand the gravity of this moment, you have to realize that this wasn't a random crime of opportunity. Nancy Guthrie isn't just anyone. Her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, is the face of NBC's Today Show. This was a high-stakes, targeted hit on one of the most protected families in the country. For 2 months, the trail went cold. The 13,000 tips led nowhere. The $1.1 million reward sat untouched. The public was starting to believe this was the perfect crime. But experts like Bob Craig, a man who has led high-risk SWAT operations in these very hills, knew better. And he knew that an 84-year-old woman doesn't just disappear from a safe neighborhood without a predator mapping out her every move. This drama was destined to explode the moment the FBI realized the neighbor who moved out right after the abduction wasn't just a coincidence. They were a ghost in the machine. The tension reached a breaking point on March 17th. While the media was distracted by celebrity gossip, Brian Enton and investigative teams caught federal agents returning to a specific rental property near Nancy's home. This house had been sitting vacant, a silent observer to the horror of February 1st. But here is where the story takes a dark turn. 2 different neighbors, Laura and Aldine Meister, had been screaming for police to check this house since week 1. They noticed a car that simply vanished. No moving truck, no goodbye. Oh, just an empty driveway the morning Nancy was gone. Leaked reports now suggest the FBI is obsessing over the operational window, the 4 hours between 9:50 p.m. and 1:47 a.m. The conflict. One reporter says the renters left before the crime. Another says they fled immediately after. If they fled after, we aren't looking at a witness. We are looking at the kidnapper's home base. The internet is currently melting down over what's being called the neighbor's secret. On social media, the hashtag Nancy Guthrie House is trending as armchair detectives cross-reference real estate records with the FBI's latest movements. But the escalation hit a fever pitch when former FBI agent Jennifer Coffin-Daffer dropped a bombshell assessment. The individual caught on that doorbell camera weeks prior wasn't just lurking, he was conducting a trial run. Now, imagine the panic in the community as news spreads that federal agents are now demanding the individual names of every contractor and construction worker who touched that street. This isn't a routine check anymore, it's a manhunt. Industry insiders are whispering that the FBI's evidence response team found more than just dust in that vacant house. They found touch DNA on a windowsill that looks directly into Nancy's bedroom. The reaction has been a total explosion of fury and fear. On one side, supporters of the Guthrie family are demanding immediate arrests, accusing the authorities of moving too slow while a staging house sat right under their noses. On the other side, skeptics are debating if the FBI is just retracing steps to cover up a failed investigation. How do you miss a staging ground 50 feet away? One viral tweet demanded with 50,000 retweets. Celebrity news outlets are fueling the fire, suggesting that high-profile names might be linked to the rental's lease. The division is clear. Half the world thinks the kidnapper is a professional mercenary, while the other half believes it's someone Nancy saw every single day. The heat is rising, and the FBI's no comment is only making the public's suspicion turn into an all-out riot for the truth. But here's the detail that changes everything. The one thing that will keep you awake tonight. SWAT Commander Bob Craig made a statement to Parade that has sent chills down the spines of investigators. He suggested that a vacant house isn't just a place to sleep, it's a place to stash surveillance equipment. The FBI didn't just find DNA. Sources are hinting they found a physical installation, a hidden feed, a remote camera, or a micro SD card left behind in the rush to escape. If that card exists, the FBI isn't just looking for a suspect, they are watching the kidnapper watch Nancy. But as of this second, the most haunting question remains. If they found his equipment, why haven't they found him? The SWAT commander's final warning? He's stayed quiet since the incident. He's still out there, potentially watching another house, another target, waiting for the next trial run. This case is red hot and moving faster than the news can keep up with. Was the person in that vacant house the one who took Nancy, or were they just a scout for a much larger organization? The FBI is drinking from a fire hose of leads, but the answer is inside that neighbor's house. What do you think they found on that surveillance feed? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one, and we need to keep this conversation alive until Nancy comes home. Hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications, because the next update is rumored to involve a specific name linked to that rental property. You do not want to miss what's coming next. Nancy Guthrie is still missing, and the clock is ticking. See you in the next update.